And they're off. Predictably, front-running Limestone Lad races off into the lead, being followed by Isterbrack and Nomadic, and then a break to Derry Moyle and Master Beveled as they race across now towards the first flight, one before they turn into the straight, and Limestone Lad and Shane McGovern opening up an 8-length advantage over Isterbrack, who's followed by Nomadic. Further back in the field then to Master Beveled and Derry Moyle as they jump the first flight and race on the approach towards the straight. In the lead is Limestone Lad, out clear of Isterbrack, who's racing in second. They're followed back in third by Nomadic. Further break of 4 or 5 lengths to Master Beveled, who's just ahead of Derry Moyle. As they approach the turn into the straight on towards flights 2 and 3, and Limestone Lad racing along clear of Isterbrack, followed further back by Nomadic. Then comes Master Beveled and Derry Moyle as they come to the first of the 2 in the straight. Number 2 this time, and Limestone Lad over and clear. Isterbrack second, Nomadic third, Master Beveled running 4, and Derry Moyle is the back mark of the quintet as they come on towards the third. The final flight next time, and Limestone Lad jumps it big and bold. Isterbrack over second, Nomadic 3, Master Beveled 4, Derry Moyle 5. Now they run past the stands. They've got a complete circuit ahead of them, and Limestone Lad and Shane McGovern out some 15 lengths clear of Isterbrack, the dual champion, winner of 18 of his 20 races, and Charlie Swan running second. Further back then to Nomadic and Paul Carberry, the English challenger Master Beveled, and the English champion Tony McCoy 4, and Derry Moyle and Jason Titley are the back marker of the 5. But Limestone Lad going along at quite a pace as they race on to the first past the stands. Number 4, Limestone Lad over and clear. Isterbrack jumping it second, then Nomadic, Master Beveled and Derry Moyle as they race now with 1.5 miles to go and go towards the 5th flight, taking them up the far side, and Limestone Lad still way out clear. Isterbrack hit that hurdle, made a mistake. I think he made a mistake of that one last year as well, but is out a long way in front. Limestone Lad to the next, followed by Isterbrack, much better at that one. Nomadic, followed by Master Beveled and Derry Moyle. So they race on up towards the top of the track and shortly now make the descent from Ballyhack, where Limestone Lad has extended the lead, if anything, from passing the stands to over 20 lengths now. Isterbrack followed by Nomadic, who's tracked by Master Beveled, and they're clear of Derry Moyle. So they race downhill on the far side for a mile marker from the finish. At this point, this flight is omitted, and Limestone Lad leads by 20 lengths to Isterbrack, who's followed by Nomadic, and then Master Beveled, who's clear of Derry Moyle. They're racing on now down the far side, past the 7 furlong point, and Limestone Lad 20 in front for Shane McGovern. In second is Isterbrack. Nomadic is 4 to 5 lengths back third. Master Beveled is tracking them in 4th place, 8 lengths in front of Derry Moyle. They're well strung out, but Limestone Lad is keeping up the gallop, clear of Isterbrack as they run now towards the 4th last flight, and Limestone Lad over and well clear. Isterbrack second, Nomadic is third, and Master Beveled 4. They're racing to the 5 furlong point, and Limestone Lad leads a slightly reduced advantage now as Isterbrack and Charlie Swan gradually make improvement to be about 12 lengths off the leader and clear of Nomadic and Master Beveled, who are dueling for 3rd and 4th. Derry Moyle last. They've half a mile to run now. This is the 3rd last, and Limestone Lad is keeping up the gallop. Isterbrack is 12 lengths to make up as they race now towards the home turn, and Limestone Lad out clear of Isterbrack, only beaten twice in 20 starts. Limestone Lad makes the turn into the straight with 2 flights left to jump in the Duggan Brothers Hatton's Grace hurdle, and Limestone Lad, Isterbrack with a battle on, if anything, has 8 lengths to 10 to make up. 2 left to jump. Limestone Lad comes to the 2nd last in the colours of James Bow, over a little bit weary. Isterbrack is beginning to close. They're racing down now to the final flight. Limestone Lad, Isterbrack been shaken up, but he's still got 4 to make up. The final flight, Limestone Lad, Isterbrack a big jump. They're inside the last furlong. Limestone Lad, Isterbrack is trying to wear him down. Limestone Lad is digging deep for Shane McGovern. Is there a big upset? The champion hurdler's been beaten. Limestone Lad deserves, if anything, to beat him. Has won it for James Bow and Shane McGovern. Isterbrack has lost for the third time in his career.
And they're off. Solarina goes straight into the lead to adopt her normal front-running style of racing. Takes over at the first from Brave Ink, Royal Paradise back in front, and Golden Cross settles in the back mark of the 5. They continue across now towards the second flight, which will take them on the approach to the straight. And it's Solarina showing the way to Royal Paradise, who's second. Third place is Brave Ink, with back in front being followed by Golden Cross. As they come now on the approach to the flight before they'll turn in, flight number 2. And Solarina going along in front of Royal Paradise, Brave Inca back in front and Golden Cross. As they jump that flight to take them now on the turn in. Solarina showing the way to Royal Paradise, being followed in third by Brave Inca. Then back in front and Golden Cross as they round the turn to straighten up for flights 3 and 4 to bring them towards the stands in the Ballymore Properties Hatton's Grace Hurdle. Showing the way is Solarina, winner of the race last year when beating today's runner in the race, Brave Inca, who's today lying in third, separated by Royal Paradise, 2 lengths off the leader. Back in front is fourth on the outside, and they're followed by Golden Cross. Racing on now to the fourth flight, take them up past the stands. Solarina showing in front of Royal Paradise, back in front and Brave Inca, followed by Golden Cross settled in the back marker of the 5. So they race past the stands, complete circuit ahead of them, and when they swing away from the stands, they'll be facing up towards flight number 5. Solarina, Gary Hutchinson to Royal Paradise, David Casey. Back in front, Barry Geraghty. Just third ahead of Brave Ink and Tony McCoy, fourth on the inside. And they're about 3 lengths in front of Golden Cross and Johnny Murtha, the back markers. They race away from the stands towards the 5th. Little over a mile and a half ahead of them. Solarina bowling along in front of Royal Paradise. Back in front and Brave Inca and Golden Cross last of the quintet. Over the flight now to take them up the side of the track. 2 more before they reach the top of the hill. Flight 6 and 7 approaching. Solarina from Royal Paradise. Back in front, Brave Inca and Golden Cross. Now they head towards the third of the flights away from the stands and up towards the top of the hill. Little change in the order. Solarina showing in front of Royal Paradise. Back in front and Brave Inca and Golden Cross, the back mark of the 5. Reaching the top of the hill now and beginning to make the descent to the next flight, which will be a mile from the finish. And Solarina bowling along 2 in front of Royal Paradise. Back in front third. Brave Inca just niggled along a little in fourth, ahead of Golden Cross as they race downhill towards the next flight. Solarina, Royal Paradise back in front. Brave Inca just gets a reminder. Golden Cross, the back marker of the 5, as they jump this one a mile from the finish. Solarina, Royal Paradise back in front, Brave Inca and Golden Cross. They're racing now to make the turn over at the 7 furlong point, and it's Solarina in front by 2.5. Back in front moves on the outside of Royal Paradise. Brave Inca is still nudged along in fourth to keep touch with the leading 3, and Golden Cross, although the back marker of the 5, they're covered by 6 lengths. They're racing now with 3/4 of a mile to go. Solarina, Royal Paradise back in front, Brave Ink and Golden Cross. Solarina skips over that one. 3 in front, Royal Paradise pressed for the second now by back in front, and on the inside Brave Inca trying to close, and Golden Cross still not out of it, a close back marker of 5. Racing now to the final half mile and the third last flight. Solarina the leader from Brave Inca on the inside of back in front. Royal Paradise just drops back and Golden Cross tries to improve on the inside as they come now to the third last. Solarina over that, a couple of lengths clear. Brave Inca trying to close now in second. Back in front is third, Golden Cross 4 as Royal Paradise drops out, but as they round the home turn, it's Solarina and Gary Hutchinson kicking 3 lengths in front of Brave Inca and Tony McCoy. Golden Cross has moved into third, racing now towards the second last in the Ballymore Properties Hatton's Grace Hurdle, and last year's winner Solarina in the lead. Golden Cross throwing down a challenge for Johnny Murtha now on the near side as they come to the second last. Solarina from Golden Cross, Brave Inca in third, coming down towards the final flight. Solarina from Golden Cross who's throwing down a challenge. Brave Inca's in third at the final flight. Solarina from Golden Cross who's still putting down a determined challenge. Brave Inca's trying to come back on the outside. Golden Cross just hits the front from Solarina. Brave Inca is still trying to get back at them. They're inside the last 50 yards. Golden Cross with Solarina battling back on the inside. It's on the nod. Solarina and Golden Cross very close. In third, Brave Inca clear of back in front and Royal Paradise. White flag is raised for the Ballymore Properties Hatton's Grace Hurdle, and they're off and running. And Rosica and Asian Maze set off in the lead from Brugella. A few lengths then to Brave Inca, who's followed by Alella, who settles in the back marker of the 5. They're on the run across now to the first flight, which will take them on the approach to the straight. And Rosica and Asian Maze out 4 lengths in front of Brave Inca, who moves into third ahead of Brugella and Alella on the outside. So they're facing up now to the first flight, and Rosica over in front jumps it better than Asian Maze and extends the advantage to over 2 lengths. In third place is Brave Inca, being followed in fourth on the inside by Brugella, and Alella just the back marker on the outside. So the 5 runners for the Ballymore Properties Hatton's Grace Hurdle swing into the straight and face up now to flights 2 and 3. And it's Rosica who stays towards the inside. Asian Maze preferring to stay a little bit towards the centre of the track, and they're tracked by Brave Inca in third with Alella and Brugella. On they come now to flight number 3, the flight in front of the stands, after which they'll have a complete circuit, and Rosica and Paul Carberry lead from Asian Maze and Ruby Walsh. Then comes Brave Inca and Tony McCoy, reunited with the champion this afternoon with Brugella and John Cullen, tracked by Alella and Timmy Murphy. So the 5 runners past the winning post, circuit to go. Rosica leads a couple of lengths to Asian Maze. In third place is Brave Inca, who just gets a reminder to keep up to his work, and they're being followed by Alella and Brugella. Heading away from the stands and up towards the 4th flight. And Rosica leads Asian Maze, Brave Inca, Brugella and Alella as they approach the first, taking them away from the stands. They've got about 1.5 miles ahead of them now as Rosica continues to bowl along in front, followed by Asian Maze. In third is Brave Inca for Brugella. Last of the 5 towards the outside is Alella. They continue the climb away from the stands and now reach the next flight as they head up towards the top of the hill. The next being the 6th, Rosica Asian Maze from Brave Inca, followed by Brugella and Alella as they go out over that flight and now begin to reach the top of the hill and the halfway stage. Shortly now they'll be making the descent from the top of the hill with a good run before they'll reach the next flight, which is positioned about 1 mile from the finish. And it's Rosica who leads Asian Maze by just over a length. 2 lengths to Brave Inca, who's been just niggled along by Tony McCoy in his customary running style, followed by Brugella on the inside of Alella. Down the hill they come towards the mile pole. Rosica from Asian Maze, Brave Inca just in behind them in third, and then Brugella and Alella, the 5 runners, covered by a little over 4 lengths now as they reach the flight 1 mile from the finish. Rosica Asian Maze from Brave Inca, Alella moving fourth, relegating Brugella to be the back mark of the 5. They begin the swing over on the far side, taking them up towards the 7 furlong point and heading across towards 4 from the finish. And Rosica now being almost joined by Asian Maze. They're a couple of lengths in front of Brave Inca with Alella and Brugella 4th and 5th. Now heading across towards 4 out. Rosica, Asian Maze with now Brave Inca going up between horses, and a good jump by Brave Inca takes them right up on the outside of Rosica. Asian Maze just struggling a bit to go with them. Alella is 4th, and then comes Brugella. Now they're racing across towards the third last, and Brave Inca moves up on the outside of Rosiker. Asian Maze trying to come back on terms with them. In fourth place, Al Ella just poised a couple of lengths off them as they come now towards 3 out, and Brave Inca hits the front from Rosiker. In third place, Asian Maze a couple of lengths back off them. Al Ella's fourth, and then Brogella as they race now towards the turn into the straight. It's Brave Inca who's taken it up for Tony McCoy to lead Rosiker by a length. They've gone on 4 clear of Asian Maze, and then comes Al Ella and Brogella, but into the straight with 2 left to jump. In the Bellymore Properties Hatton's Grace Hurdle, it's the champion hurdler Brave Inca and Tony McCoy in the lead from Rosiker. Paul Carberry second, then Asian Maze towards the outside of Al Ella, jumping 2 out, and Brave Inca with Rosiker now coming back to challenge on the near side. Brogella has moved into third, and now as they race between the final 2, it is Brave Inca who's idling in front. His ears pricked, but it's hard work for the champion jockey to keep him up to his task as Rosiker comes back on the near side. In third is Brogella. The final flight, Brave Inca over in front of Rosiker and Brogella as they race inside the last 200 yards, and Brave Inca just keeps finding more and more as they run up towards the finish. It is Brave Inca with his ears pricked, idling in front. Hard work for the champion. He's all but pulling up going to the line, but he's going to last out to win it. Brave Inca beats Rosiker. Brogella's third. Asian Maze back in fourth, and Al Ella last of the 5. White flag is raised, and they're off. Final approach, and Paul Townend stretch on to lead from Murad, stable companion in second, being followed by the Real Arctical, and just dropped in the back mark of the quartet, Vola La Vedette, making the way across now towards the first flight, which will bring them on the approach towards the straight. And final approach is the leader from Murad, on the outside the Real Article, and just dropped in Vola La Vedette. The quartet now race out over the first flight and begin the run towards the turn into the straight, where they'll face flights 2 and 3. And final approach is the leader, 3 lengths clear of Murad in second, followed by the Real Arctical on the outside in third, tracked by Vola La Vedette, just the back marker of the quartet. They round the bend now and make the run towards flight number 2. Final approach makes it, showing the way to Murad, the Real Article on the inside of Vola La Vedette, as the 4 runners make their way now on towards the second. Final approach is in the lead, over in front of Murad second, the Real Article third, followed by Vola La Vedette in fourth place, making the way on up now towards the third. It'll bring them up in front of the stands, and the leader, final approach, Paul Townend, tracked by stable companion Murad Ruby Walsh, the Real Article Barry Geraghty, and Vola La Vedette and Andrew Lynch. Over that flight and taking them up now to pass the winning post in the Bar 1 Racing Hatton's Grace Hurdle, and little change from the outset, the quartet led by final approach. Murad sits just over a length back. On their heels is the Real Article, and then a couple of lengths to Vola La Vedette, swinging away from the stands where they reach the climb towards the fourth flight. Final approach in front of Murad, tracked by the Real Article. 2 lengths then to Vola La Vedette. No change as they head away from the stands up towards the 1.5 mile point, and face now flights 4 and 5, taking them up towards the top of the track. Final approach, Murad, Real Article, and Vola La Vedette. Leaving the ground now for the fourth. Final approach in front, Murad in second. The Real Article tracked by Vola La Vedette as they climb now towards the next flight, flight number 5, which will take them up towards the top of the track. Final approach in the lead, tracked by Murad, the Real Article, and Vola La Vedette as they approach this flight. Final approach over in front, tracked by Murad. The Real Article remains on their heels in third, and just 2 lengths to Vola La Vedette can take to track the other 3 as they head up towards the top of the hill. So it's final approach, just leading Murad by 3 parts of a length. The Real Article a length back, and 2 lengths to Vola La Vedette. The quartet now reach the top of the track and make the descent down now towards the 6th. And it is final approach, 3 parts in front of Murad, similar margin then to the Real Article, and just behind them Vola La Vedette. Down the hill they come now towards the next flight, which will be a mile from the finish. Final approach, Murad, the Real Article, tracked by Vola La Vedette. As they lift their heels at this one,
Final approach lands in the lead from Murad. In third place, the Real Article close on the outside, and stalking them is Volar Levedette. The quartet race past the 7 furlong point and begin the run now to 4 from home. In front, final approach, but only just. Murad on the outside. Tracking them, the Real Article just within 3 parts, and then a length and a half to Volar Levedette. Racing now with 4 left to jump. Little change. It's final approach. Murad right there on the outside. The Real Article with them. Couple of lengths to Volar Levedette. Now they're on the run towards the final half mile, and they've got 3 left to jump. And final approach just in front. Murad ranges alongside. The Real Article on their outside, and Volar Levedette right on their heels. The quartet race now towards 3 from home. And final approach on the inside of Murad. The Real Article tracking is Volar Levedette. Now they come to the flight before the straight. 3 left to jump. Final approach, Murad, the Real Article on the outside. Volar Levedette just in behind them as they race now towards the home turn and beginning the swing now with 2 left to jump. Final approach on the rail, pressed by Murad, the Real Article and Volar Levedette as they begin to swing off the bend now and head for the second last. Final approach, and Murad on the outside of them is Real Article and Volar Levedette trying to improve the near side, racing down with 2 left to jump. Final approach on the inside with Murad. On the outside, Volar Levedette making ground now to sweep up to join, and its final approach now pressed by Volar Levedette, who's coming there on the near side. Murad back in third in the Real Article. It's Volar Levedette hits the front. Final flight in the bar 1, Hatton's Grace, and over it Volar Levedette lands a couple in front and racing up towards the finish. It's Volar Levedette and Andrew Lynch. What a weekend it has been for him as Volar Levedette goes on to score impressively for Colin Murphy. Murad just gets the second from the Real Article, and final approach last of the quartet.
2 lengths first to last into the straight, and Commander of Fleet on the outside just edges a place in front of Quip Grabham on the rail. Aramon round the outside of Triplicate, coming down towards the second last, and cards yet to be played. Quick Grabham, Commander of Fleet the centre, Aramon on the outside of Triplicate who's been switched. Quick Grabham is still in front, racing down towards the final flight in the bar1racing.com Royal Bond Novice Hurdle. It's Quick Grabham and Ruby Walsh stretching on from Aramon, Commander of Fleet and Triplicate, not the final flight. It's Quick Grabham, the leader, out in front from Triplicate, who's running on into second place. But Quick Grabham has made just about all and returns to winning ways, giving Willie Mullins an 8 Royal Bond. Quick Grabham, Ruby Walsh, home in front of Triplicate, Mark Walsh, Aramon, Paul Town, and Commander of Fleet and Davy Russell. Racing on between the second and third fences as they near the one in front of the stands, the last one next time. And it's High Nelly and Brian Hayes in front of Blow by Blow and Jack Kennedy, then Jets and Robbie Power. Larichburg next towards the inside under Barry Geraghty. And they're being followed by Delta Work and Davy Russell. Mind's Eye next with Disco Rama running the rail. Cadmium in between horses, and just the back marker is Cubomania. Making the run away from the stands to the first of the 3 uphill fences. And as they start now to meet rising ground, it's High Nelly leading Blow by Blow, Jets, tracked by Larichburg. Alongside Larichburg is Delta Work. Mark Walsh appears to be okay after his first fence fall from Dawn Shadow as they jump the 4th fence. And it's High Nelly with Jets improving on the outside. And they're followed by Blow, who's just been ridden. Delta Work, Mind's Eye right on the outside has improved. Larichburg towards the inner as they race away from that ditch, which will take them right up towards the highest point of the track. Jets on the outside and Robbie Parr move to dispute the lead with High Nelly and Brian Hayes, then Blow by Blow and Jack Kennedy. Delta Work next with Larichburg. On the outside is Mind's Eye, and Cadmium just caught the top of that one. As they begin the run out of the next fence, which is at the halfway stage. Jets on the outside of High Nelly. The pair make that bend together in front of Blow by Blow. Larichburg 4th, then Delta Work with a break of a few lengths back to Cadmium, Mind's Eye, Discorama and Cubomania as they race downhill to the next 2 fences on the far side. With over a mile to run, Jets, the bright orange colours on the outside of High Nelly. The pair are disputing the lead at the next fence before the ditch. followed then with a mile to go by Blow, Le Richburg, the inside of Delta Work, then Mind's Eye. Over the next ditch now, bringing them on towards the 7 furlong point, and the bar1racing.com Drenmore Novice Chase, and they're tightly packed up. Jets by half a length to High Nelly, with another half a length back to in third, Blow by Blow. Le Richburg the inside of Delta Work, who have kept close company throughout. Mind's Eye next. The final three are Cadmium, Cubomania and Discorama. At the next fence, which is 5 from home, and away from it they come. Matching strides, High Nelly and Jets. Jets and High Nelly a length in front of Delta Work, who's taking closer order and company with Le Richburg on the inside. Then Mind's Eye. Losing his place is Blow by Blow, then Cadmium, Discorama and Cubomania as they lift off at 4 fences from the finish. And it's High Nelly with improving Delta Work on the outside of Jets in between horses. And just behind them, at close up fourth, is Le Richburg as they near the third last fence with half a mile to go. Rising, it is Jets, High Nelly, Delta Work, Mind's Eye round the outside, and right behind them in the white cap, the hoops of JP McManus is Le Richburg, with Cadmium picking up a bit of ground from the back. Then Cubomania racing round the home turn with 2 fences left to jump. And Jet swings in just in front, with coming there in the centre, Delta Work. And behind them is Le Richburg away to the inside with Cadmium and then Mind's Eye. And we've lost Cubomania as they come down towards the final fence now. And Jets are swamped on either side by Delta Work. Le Richburg over on the far side as they come down towards the final fence. Delta Work, Davy Russell from Le Richburg and Barry Gertie as they come to the final fence now in the Drenmore. Delta Work got in close, gives another chance to Le Richburg over on the far side. It's nip and tuck. Delta Work on the near side puts his head down to win it, and Delta Work has won it for Davy Russell and Gordon Elliott, joining the list of his stable greats who have won the Drenmore. Second, Le Richburg, then Jets. The white cap, the hoops of JP McManus is Le Richburg, with Cadmium picking up a bit of ground from the back. Then Cubomania racing round the home turn with 2 fences left to jump. And Jets swings in just in front, with coming there in the centre, Delta Work. And behind them is Le Richburg away to the inside with Cadmium and then Mind's Eye. And we've lost Cubomania as they come down towards the final fence now. And Jets are swamped on either side by Delta Work. Le Richburg over on the far side as they come down towards the final fence. Delta Work, Davy Russell from Le Richburg and Barry Gertie as they come to the final fence now in the Drenmore. Delta Work got in close, gives another chance to Le Richburg over on the far side. It's nip and tuck. Delta Work on the near side puts his head down to win it, and Delta Work has won it for Davy Russell and Gordon Elliott, joining the list of his stable greats who have won the Drenmore. Second, Le Richburg, then Jets, Cadmium and Discorama. White flag is raised, they're off. In the big one of the day, the bar1racing.com Hatton's Grace Hurdle, grade 1 over 2.5 miles, and the first to show was Wicklow Brave. Leading to the opening flight, Apple's Jade, last year's winner and the year before, with in third place Dortmund Park. Next on the inside is Limini with Super Sunday, and then comes Shane's Hill as they jump flight number 1, taking them across to the straight first time. And the leader is Wicklow Brave out in front of Apple's Jade, who's another few lengths clear of Limini on the inside of Dortmund Park, and they're tracked across to the straight by Super Sunday. Shane's Hill next on the outside, then Early Doors. The grey is Farcla, and Bapom is bringing up the rear as the 9 runners turn in for flights 2 and 3. In the lead is Wicklow Brave and Patrick Mullins, out in front of Apple's Jade and Jack Kennedy. Third is Limini and Ruby Walsh, and then in the centre is Dortmund Park and Rachel Blackmore. Super Sunday next, Robbie Parr, third in last year's race, and then Shane's Hill and David Mullins, with Bapom and Paul Townend sporting a green cap. And then comes Early Doors and Mark Walsh, and Farcla towards the outside, Davy Russell. Flight number 3, the last one next time, as they stream up in front of us. And in the lead and out in front is Wicklow Brave, being followed by Apple's Jade on a concerted 3-timer bid. She's clear from Limini, and in fourth is Dortmund Park, followed by Super Sunday, Shane's Hill, Bapom Early Doors and Farcla as they turn away from the stands to the first of two uphill flights. The next flight will be flight number 4. Wicklow Brave, followed by Apple's Jade, who's a tad closer in second. The pair have stretched away from the third running Limini, with Dortmund Park in fourth. Fifth is Super Sunday and then Shane's Hill, with the final 3 Limini, Farcla and Early Doors as they race to the final mile and a half and the last of the 2 flights up along the side. And it's Wicklow Brave, Patrick Mullins, leading over that flight 2 lengths, Apples Jade and Jack Kennedy. They remain clear of in third, Limini and Ruby Walsh, with Dortmund Park in fourth and Super Sunday is fifth. Then Shane's Hill. Bapom has 2 behind, Farcla and Early Doors. Turning right-handed at the top of the track, soon passing the halfway stage in the bar1racing.com Hatton's Grace Hurdle. And it's Wicklow Brave by less than a length now to Apples Jade, who's almost up level. The pair remain clear of Limini and Dortmund Park. That pair in turn out in front of Super Sunday and then Shane's Hill, Bapom, Farcla and Early Doors. They're racing towards the next flight, a mile from the finish. And this will be 5 from home. Wicklow Brave taken on now by Apples Jade on the outside. 8-10 lengths in front of Dortmund Park, and then comes Limini. They're almost back at the point at which they started, and dueling away for the advantage, Wicklow Brave on the inside of Apples Jade as they pass the 7, and they remain a good way clear of the next couple, who are Limini on the inside of Dortmund Park. Super Sunday is then being followed by Shane's Hill and Bapom. They're very well strung out, racing on towards the next flight. Apples Jade on the outside of Wicklow Brave, slightly coming back to Limini and Dortmund Park. Super Sunday is driven along in fifth. Then Bapom and Shane's Hill, Early Doors and Farcla. They're at the 5 as they come now towards the flight on the approach to the straight. This is 3 from home. In the air together, Apples Jade on the outside of Wicklow Brave. Limini is third. Pushed along in fourth is Dortmund Park and then Super Sunday as they round the home turn. Half a mile to go and 2 flights to jump, and Apples Jade picks it up and goes on from Wicklow Brave. They're clear from Limini and Super Sunday. Bapom has made some ground on the outside of Dortmund Park and then Early Doors, but turning their heads for home with 2 to jump. In the bar1racing.com Hatton's Grace Hurdle, and it's a familiar sight as Apples Jade and Jack Kennedy are pouring away from Limini, Super Sunday and Bapom over 2 out. Apples Jade a long way clear, just the 1 flight to jump. And the bar1racing.com Hatton's Grace Hurdle, it is Apples Jade, Jack Kennedy for Gordon Elliott in Jigginstown, down towards the final flight. Apples Jade over from Super Sunday, a remote second, and then Bapom, who made a mistake with Limini next. But Apples Jade joins an elite club in winning 3 Hatton's Grace Hurdles by a wide margin. Super Sunday second on return, with Limini third, and then Bapom, Early Doors, Farcla, Wicklow Brave, Shane's Hill and Dortmund Park. At the top of the track, and soon to make the descent to flight number 5 at the halfway stage in the Grade 1 bar1racing.com Royal Bond Novice Hurdle. Tightly grouped, Envoy Len, Davy Russell on the inside of Embittered and Mark Walsh, tracked by Darver star Jonathan Moore, and right behind them Turnpike Trip and Kevin Broder. Out wide is Midnight Run and Rachel Blackmore, being followed by Abacadabra, and then stable companions Fast Spock, Foveros and Soviet Pimpernel remains at the rear. Heading to the 7 furlong point, they've 4 flights left to jump. And there's been very little changes in the order of running, with 4 flights left to jump. Envoy Len on the inside of Embittered. Little to choose between them, followed by Darver Star, Turnpike Trip. Midnight Run is on the outside. And then Abacadabra, Fast Buck, Foveros and Soviet Pimpernel as they leave behind them that 4th flight from the finish. Envoy Len and Embittered, still the first pairs they've been since the start. Tracked by Darver Star and Turnpike Trip. Next on the outside as they pass the 5 Midnight Run. 3 left to jump in the bar1racing.com Royal Bond Novice, and it's Envoy Len on the inside of Embittered, still going along stride for stride, less than A length and a half in front of Midnight Run, who's taking closer order on the outside of Turnpike Trip. Darver Star in between the pair of them. Then Abacadabra, Fast Buck around the outside, and then Favros and Soviet Pimpernel, their heads turned for home. With 2 flights left to jump, and it's Envoy Hélène the leader. On the outside is Embittered with Midnight Run. Abacadabra is travelling into the race on the outside. Then comes Darver Star with Turnpike Trip, Favros, Soviet Pimpernel, Fast Buck has dropped away. Oh, as they come away from the second last bad mistake, Midnight Run, good recovery by Rachel Blackmore. And it's on the far side, Envoy Hélène and Abacadabra. They're holding the case for Gordon Elliott over the final flight in the Royal Bond, and it's Envoy Hélène the leader from Abacadabra on the near side, but Envoy Hélène has the measure of Abacadabra, and Envoy Hélène further enhances his lofty reputation, is destined for high order, has made virtually all in the Royal Bond from Abacadabra, Darver Star, Turnpike Trip and Embittered. Little or no changes. Jumping the first of a couple of ditches, and it's Fakir Duderi on the outside of Burrows Saint. A length off them in third is Sam Crow. 2.5 lengths then to Chef de Zobo and Ronald Pump. Heading to the fence, taking them to the halfway stage. And as they rise together, Fakir Duderi and Burrows Saint, 2 lengths in front of Sam Crow, then Chef de Zobo and Ronald Pump as they turn right-handed right up at the top of the course in the bar1racing.com Drinmore Novice. Fakir Duderi on the outside, just in front from Burrows Saint. Couple of lengths back to Sam Crow, followed by Chef de Zobo and Ronald Pump. All still standing, making the downhill run to the next 2 fences on the far side. 7 left to jump. Fakir Duderi on the outside of Burrows Saint. In third is Sam Crow, and then Chef de Zobo and Ronald Pump. Over the next of the couple of fences on the far side, and Fakir Duderi came away with a lead now of 2 to 3 lengths over Sam Crow and Burrows Saint. Another good jump by the one in front, and sloppy at that one was Burrows Saint, and has dropped back to be last but one. As they pass the 7 furlong point, they've 5 fences left to jump. And it is Fakir Duderi and Sam Crow going on 3 lengths in front of Ronald Pump, who's moved into third place. As behind him, stable companions Burrows Saint and Chef de Zobo. Heading now for the final 3/4 of a mile. In the next fence, Fakir Duderi. What a jump at that one. And increased the lead. 3 lengths over Sam Crow, then Burrows Saint, Ronald Pump and Chef de Zobo. Now to the middle of the 3 fences before the straight. For the jump, Fakir Duderi and Mark Walsh lead a length, reeled back in by Sam Crow and Jack Kennedy. Ronald Pump, third Robbie Power. Then Chef de Zobo on the outside, Danny Mullins. And Ronald Pump made a mistake and has dropped back to the rear when was in there pitching. 3 fences left to jump. Fakir Duderi, Sam Crow, followed by Burrows Saint and Chef de Zobo and Ronald Pump. As they come away from that one, less than half a mile to go, and they've 2 fences left to jump. Fakir Duderi, Mark Walsh on the rail, with right behind Sam Crow and Jack Kennedy, half a length between them, and they're coming away from Burrows Saint. Chef de Zobo and Ronald Pump as they're in line for the final 2 fences. Strap yourselves in. Sam Crow on the outside. In the wing mirrors of Fakir. And Sam Crow's gone. Sam Crow is gone. Fakir Duderi has possibly been presented with the bar1racing.com Drinmore Novice. As they come down to the final fence, Jack Kennedy is up on his feet. And in glorious isolation is Fakir Duderi and Mark Walsh at the final fence, safely over from Burrows Saint, Ronald Pump and Chef de Zobo. But Fakir Duderi will give Connections compensation. They were just touched off in last year's race. Fakir Duderi makes up for it here, has won by a wide margin. Second, Ronald Pump. Walking forward. White flag is raised. They're off in the bar1racing.com Hatton's Grace Hurdle of €125,000, the grade 1 over 2.5 miles and 9 flights, and Kilalta Vic is over the first in the lead, followed by Apples Jade, your winner for the last 3 years, who's being followed by Bacardi's on the inside of Honeysuckle. David's Charm, and held up in these early stages Penn Hill, dual Grade 1 winner at Cheltenham, and making his season reappearance. As Kilalta Vic and Apples Jade come on now to this next flight, followed by Honeysuckle, light blue colours on the outside of Bacardi's, David's Charm and Penn Hill as they come across to the straight for the first time, and it's Kilalta Vic the leader, Brian Hayes, less than 2 lengths in front of Apples Jade, Jack Kennedy in second, and another 2 lengths back to in third, Honeysuckle and Rachel Blackmore, followed on straightening up by Bacardi's and Paul Townend. Apples Jade's Conqueror in the Liz Mullen hurdle at Navan. Bacardi's is 2 behind, David's Charm, Philip Enright, and Penn Hill, Danny Mullins. Over this next flight, the first of 2 in the straight, Kilalta Vic was cumbersome, but emerged with the lead. Racing out of the flight, that'll be the last next time. Apples Jade second, then Honeysuckle. The unbeaten Honeysuckle in her moment of truth as they jumped this flight, and Kilalta Vic let fly at that one. Leads 2.5 lengths, Apples Jade, Honeysuckle, Bacardi's, Penn Hill relegates to the back of the field, David's Charm. But only over 5 lengths covering them first to last, with the circuit to go on the bar1racing.com Hatton's Grace hurdle. 6 flights left to jump as they make the run uphill to the 2 past the stands. Kilalta Vic the leader by 2 lengths to Apples Jade, who's followed closely in third by Honeysuckle, and then Bacardi's, Penn Hill, and David's Charm. On now to the first of the 2 uphill flights along the side of the track, which will bring them to the halfway stage. Kilalta Vic over from Apples Jade, Honeysuckle, and then stable companions Penn Hill, Bacardi's, and David's Charm last of the 6. Continuing right uphill along the side of the track to the halfway stage in their next flight. Kilalta Vic over in front from Apples Jade. Third on the outside is Honeysuckle, and then Penn Hill, Bacardi's, and David's Charm as they make the run to the highest point of the track, and a significant run now before they'll reach the next flight is the one which is usually a mile from the finish. The 5th last is being omitted. Kilalta Vic yet to be headed 2 in front of Apples Jade. Third is Honeysuckle. Penn Hill has just moved forward on the inside of Bacardi's with the back marker David's Charm. Continuing downhill towards the final mile in the bar1racing.com Hatton's Grace hurdle. And it's Kilalta Vic, Brian Hayes in front. Been there throughout. Apples Jade, Jack Kennedy second. Third, Honeysuckle, Rachel Blackmore. And then comes Bacardi's and Paul Townend. Penn Hill on the inside, Danny Mullins back markers, David's Charm and Philip Enright. They return to the point in which they started with 7 furlongs to go and 4 flights to jump. Kilalta Vic the leader from Apples Jade, Honeysuckle on the outside. And then little to choose between Bacardi's and Penn Hill for the 4th. And last is David's Charm as they face up to the first of the 2 flights before the straight. They've 3/4 of a mile to go and 4 to jump. Kilalta Vic over in front. Another slight mistake and Apples Jade looms up to dispute the lead on the run to the 3rd last flight. On their heels in 3rd is Honeysuckle, then Bacardi's, Penn Hill, and a couple of lengths back to David's Charm as they pass the 5. They're on their way to the 3rd last flight on the approach to the straight, and it's Apples Jade gone up in between horses to join issue with Kilalta Vic, Honeysuckle right with them on the outside, and then comes Bacardi's with in 5th place and just nudged along Penn Hill, and at the back is David's Charm. They've under half a mile to go. 2 flights left to jump as they approach the straight. Apples Jade and Honeysuckle, the 2 mares, come to the front. Gone on a couple of lengths clear from Bacardi's. In 4th place is Penn Hill as they're in line for the final 2 flights, and Honeysuckle has gone to the front from Bacardi's on the outside of Apples Jade, who's dropped off them. Coming down towards the 2nd last, it's Honeysuckle, the leader from Bacardi's in the middle of the track as they race between the final 2 and the Hatton's Grace, and Honeysuckle is lengthening away from the field. In 2nd place is Bacardi's. Apples Jade back in 3rd at the final flight. Honeysuckle over, flicks her way through it inside the final 150 yards. This is a special mare, and it's a Hatton's full of grace as Honeysuckle and Rachel Blackmore are impressive winners of the Bar1Racing.com Hatton's Grace Hurdle. Second is Bacardi's, and third is Apple's Jade, and a bit of a break to the other three.